This girl is Riley. Right from birth, she had emotions that affect her actions. Riley's experiences become memories. They are stored in the form of color spear and are sent to long-term memory each night. Joy is always happy. She thought that only herself and Riley would be together forever. But suddenly Riley sobbed. It turned out that Sadness, who represents the sadness, pressed the control button. Over time, other emotions gradually appear. The side helps Riley safely because he represents fear, always careful with everything around. At the time of eating, disgusting appears. After giving a series of disgust analysis, she proudly declared that she had just saved their lives because she thought that the broccoli was poisonous. Dad warned that Riley did not eat vegetables will cut the dessert. Angrily heard that and left the chair. The hot love like his ice cream, a bit of anger. Riley was therefore shouting moist. It was only when his father made the aircraft with his eyes stood, Riley was the first piece after a struggle. Joy is the commander in the center. Because she represents happily, she does not understand sadness is always sad. Joy is proud of the memory of Riley is mostly fun, but the most important part is the core memory. It preserves extremely important times in Riley's life. Each core memory provides power to the different personalities of Riley. The silly island is the place where Roy likes. Thanks to the island, Riley has lovely mischievous actions. Just like that, the 5 personalities always accompanied Riley. They get along with each other to divide the work every day. When Riley goes to bed, the memories are taken to the long-term memory. At the age of 11, Riley moved to Francisco for looking for a new job. Along the way, she was very excited, because this is the first time a trip. Everyone expects the dream house. However, when moving to the place, Riley was a bit disappointed. Joy tried to convince people to be optimistic, but did not work much. The remaining 4 personalities take turns pressing the control button. Negative emotions are transformed into more memories. Joy immediately changed the atmosphere with the proposal to decorate the room. However, Dad announced that the car was not yet arrived. That made Riley's face just smiled. While walking, Riley was about to sit on the railing. Suddenly she was stuck, because sadness made a core memory falling out. Joy, panicky, picked it up and put it in the old place. At the same time, scolded Sadness not to touch. The teacher collapsed, Joy immediately to encourage. Try to recall the happy memories of Riley. But it seems that all Joy's efforts are not effective. Referring to something Sadness can pull Sadness to say. Finally, she was frustrated and collapsed on the floor. Joy shocked your armpit to take it to the library. Reluctantly persuading Sadness to read the memory of the limit will be more interesting. Although representing fun, but this time Joy is as hard as it is. Dad's work is difficult. Riley knew it through his conversations every night. Joy's position was lowered. The debate broke out and she sadly left. May, instead of Riley's mother, opened the door to the room. She apologized to her daughter and explained that her father was very busy. Therefore, I want to ask Riley to be happy to make the family atmosphere better. A sudden happiness emotion. Joy regained the spirit of the console. She runs the rest for Riley to end a complete day. The next day, Joy woke up very early. She called everyone to gather with a symphony, and then divided the job. To ensure everything perfect, Joy looks a narrow circle. She asked Sadness to enter and stay in that hole. Despite not, Sadness reluctantly followed. This is the first day Riley arrived at the new school. She was Comedy and her parents for a while before leaving the house. In class, Personality immediately analyzes the surrounding objects. The 2-hour direction is a trendy dog. Disgust made such a judgment and advised not to talk to them. Fear calves out a pile of books. These are unwanted problems that may occur. The teacher suddenly entered the classroom, causing him to panic, especially when she called Riley to stand up to introduce herself. Joy confidently holds the control panel. Everything is good until Sadness touches a piece of memory. Riley cried because he felt his place before. That emotion has become the core memory. Joy did not want Riley to have deep sadness, so he rushed to block the ball. Sadness objected because he thought to respect the principal. The control room suddenly became chaotic. The personality islands are disabled. Joy and Sadness were sucked off the headquarters along with core memories. After slipping in the pipeline, the two landed in the long-term memory area. Everyone was worried, observing the islands of Riley's character off. Facing that situation, they had to quickly find a way to return. But this journey will seem very arduous. During the meal, the mom announced that she had just found a hockey class. Fear hurriedly pushed Disgust to play Joy to behave. However, real joy cannot be fake. The personality in the mother also realized the unusual. They discuss with each other and ask the exploration question. Disgust immediately pushed Phi into the console. Due to the carefulness of the guy, answered the country. Mom immediately signaled to the three opposite sides to help. However, at this time, there were countless things to solve in his mind, so he was distracted. Due to the pressure of work at this time, the evil is very powerful. Anger did not immediately compete for Phi's position. The two men who were hot like ice cream made the situation become tense. Riley behaved improperly, was kicked up by his father. Joy and Sadness now went
bridge to catch the sense of memory. To return to the center, they have to go here. This is extremely dangerous, because if they fall down, they will be completely forgotten. Joy, Chan, and Sadness kept following him. Because Riley, they need Brave. Hand-hugging Joy footballs super crooked. Going a few steps, she slipped. Fortunately, everything is not too bad. Dad opened the door to apologize to Riley for being too much. He tried to make monkeys for children to be happy, but useless. Itching Island shook. The bridge with the Vanish Center leads to the breakup. Joy panikedly pulled Sadness to escape. They temporarily peaceful, but lost Itchy. Riley lay dormant, did not say. Dad sadly left the room so that she had time to think alone. The urgent situation, Joy urged Sadness to return. This is an opportunity because Riley went to bed. But when she goes to bed, there will be few abnormalities. Joy wants to take a detour on the Island of Friendship, but it was an endless long memory corridor. Fortunately, Sadness had read the instruction book before, so Joy pulled her leg to catch the way. Despite Sadness telling me I was sleepy for a few hours, every night until the morning they have not reached the destination. Seeing two workers cleaning, Joy's memories immediately approached the road. However, it was too late because his friends were reversing. Goodbye friendship to welcome loneliness. Joy was struggling to know how to see a suspicious person. She asked, but his tail ran away. It was Bing Bong, the imagination of Riley. When Joy told Bing Bong's situation to help both of them return to the center, as they walked while reviewing the happy memories of Riley's childhood. Because recently, Riley no longer remembered Bing Bong more, so he just came to this place to search for memory balls. When Joy promised, when he returned, he would make Riley recall Bing Bong very happy. He jumped to the point of his own feet. After a while, departure, Bing leads the Joy of Sadness to the fantasy land. There is a fries here. Everyone at will eat all the time. Then the city for the winner, the Cloud Town. All the things here are extremely fantasy. That afternoon, Riley had a match. Phi tried to pick up the pieces of memories related to her. However, the shaft machine was tight, so Riley could not complete the shot. She fell down, causing Anger to be angry. Riley threw the stick to the ground and left, so another island collapsed. Other works in the imaginary land also broke down. Good memories were thrown into the landfill, causing Bing Bong was extremely sad. It seems that Riley has gradually forgotten him. Joy approached to make the cow trembling things. However, his face kept going out. Sanus sympathized next to chat Bing Bong. Unexpectedly, it works. Bing Bong cried relieved his heart and revived his spirit. He led the two to the ship to return to the center. At the same time, the trio was very worried about Riley's condition. However, they did not know what to do to make Riley happy. Anger suggested to return to Minnesota, because before, they were all happy. At this moment, Riley went to bed. The thought train also stopped running. The driver and his father left the compartment to rest. Joy knew that he couldn't wait any longer. She came up with an idea when she saw her dream studio. They all went to the set in the hope that Riley woke up. Although urgent, Joy still wants to wake up Riley to have fun. She assigned each person a mission, determined to interfere in the scenario of the broadcaster. The context takes place in the classroom. It was the first day Riley came to school. When she just introduced, her teeth fell. Friends make dishes only, and that. Suddenly, Joy rushed into the room to run Tung Lung. Bing Bong lowered the stage curtain. They tried to stir so that Riley would sleep. Very quickly, the director discovered the group section. She asked the security guard to not make the picture to the cell. Joy hurriedly followed Sadness to rescue his friend, but the sad results were locked together. The door closed with broccoli appeared. That is Riley's childhood fear. Next, her vacuum cleaner rushed out. Joy hurriedly pulled Sadness to hide in a corner. Following the candy wrapping paper, they found Bong Bong was locked in the cage. Below is a scary clown who is sleeping. Joy gently climbed up his stomach to rescue the ball. The cage with balloons constantly emits a cry. Instead of this hand, he slept on everything. But now they left. Riley still did not wake up. That means that the ideological ship does not depart. Joy and Sadness stared at each other. They thought of a bold idea in their heads. It was awakening his clown. Both acted about a birthday party, in order to incite the clown to destroy the hell out. As expected of a successful plan, Riley was round when he saw his face. They quickly ran up the train to the center. Anger also wakes up with the idea of leaving the street back to his hometown. Phi was worried, not like Disgust, was afraid of stains. So Riley opened the computer to see the map. The decision will mix the money of the parents by the bus, or more precisely, that is the decision of Anger. On the Joy train, praised the idea of Sadness last night. Through this journey, she gradually recognized Sadness as a companion. Outside, Riley occurred when her mother always talked to the phone and sneaked her bank card in her wallet. Honest Island collapsed, causing the train to splash out of the line. Fortunately, the memory workers have promptly saved the whole group. Joy looked towards the center of anxiety. Her way home is
getting farther and farther away. Phi with weak efforts to prevent Riley's fleeing. Time is not much left. Joy's group rushed to the family island to find a way back to the center. They need to prevent her wrongdoing. Mrs. Lowe on the shoulder of Riley ran down the stairs. That accidentally made the family platform shaken. He smoked the memory to pull a sphere to the center. Joy immediately intended to use the super-speed ship. They quickly ran to the straw while everything behind collapsed. However, when Sadness touched the core memory, Joy pushed her away. Because Riley wanted Riley to be happy, Joy decided to return alone. But the pipeline broke shortly thereafter. Joy kept falling on the sense of memory with Bin Bong. They are gradually being forgotten. Joy frantically climbed upwards. Her efforts now are meaningless. Joy shed tears hugging memories. She felt appreciating everything, even if it was sad. In a moment, Joy understood. Everyone around to help Riley was because there was sadness. It was the sadness that made parents at the side of ironing and encouraging their children. Put on Joy's shoulder to regain determination. She raised her voice to her imagination. Together, they successfully found the car that Binsu made homemade. The rocket starts soaring, but not yet to the destination. It has run out of fuel. Although only one arm of Bin Bong still did not give up, he encouraged Joy to stand up and continue to depart. Joy did not know Bin Bong jumped out of the car to reduce weight. He laughed happily when Joy successfully escaped. Before vanishing, the flask told Joy to take Joy. At the same time, take her to the moon. Complete the dream when I was young. Joy promised to try his best and then quickly set out. Now, Angle is still the driver Joy took, so when her mother called her angrily, turned off. The family island continues to collapse more. Joy arrived at the long-term memory storage Sadness. Based on the color of the Sadness ball, it finally arrived. However, Sadness turned his head to run away. She thinks that no Riley will be better. At the center, Anger also realized that he decided to mistake when he saw the family crash collapsed. However, the control panel is short. The group could not get the idea of escaping. Not sad, not happy, Riley is like an emotionless backpack stepped into bridge. Fear, disgust, and anger scrambled to click the button. Is still chasing by Viet at this time Sadness. She enlisted by the imaginary boyfriend of Riley into his pocket. Then take a balloon ball blowing Sadness towards the center. Joy ran quickly approaching the island of the family to open his pocket. Riley's virtual boyfriend team stood over and over. Joy Dung, they made a lever to the center. On the way, she was successfully summed up Sadness. Both smashed his face into the glass door. Mai, instead of Sadness, has grasped her friend's hand in time. Anger calves down the glass but does not work. Disgust immediately used the champion to make him fire on his head. Then, wearing a strange face, to use his friend to completely break the glass. Success pulled joy and sadness inside. Lan Ban Bus began to depart. Joy encouraged sadness to take the idea of leaving the countryside out of the computer. As expected, sadness makes it as easy as handing his hand. Riley awakened out of the flood. She panically asked the driver to stop for herself to get out of the car. Wait for the engineer to repair the console. It is quite complicated because Riley has reached puberty. The next day, Riley attended the hockey match. Parents are also present in Vu's stands. After everything, Riley was 12 years old. All emotions may not match, but they love her, because Riley is their home. Time passed, everything well. The new islands appear and collapse. Only the root forms formed beliefs. Riley is close to two new friends, Gray and Bree. They joined the school's hockey club. To better protect Riley, the emotions that create a new part in the mind of Riley are called the feeling of themselves. The place to store memories and emotions creates Riley's core personality. Joy also invented a mechanism, can launch any negative memories into the mind of Riley. That night when they were sleeping, the puberty was loud. Joy immediately removed the light from the headquarters. Thought everything was stable, the group of employees broke in. They quickly upgrade the emotional control panel. However, if they were not completed, they took a long break. Riley woke up and yawned. All her behaviors were overly excessive. Joy suggested that no one touched the control panel. Before they clarified what was happening, parents carry Riley and two friends to run hockey. She was very excited and hoped that she was good enough for them to accept the Firehawks team. Suddenly, Gray and Bree faces slightly changed, and Disgust realized it. She lets the image of every detail. Finally came to the conclusion that Gray and Bree are having a hidden thing. As expected, Gray was forced to reveal. She and Bree registered to another high school. Riley tried to be okay, but the emotions in the chaos. Turning his face to the car door to show his sadness. Wait for everyone to go to the group for sadness to touch the control panel. Riley immediately sobbed with tears. Seeing that, sadness hurriedly backed back. Joy Chan-an is that this is necessary. Then all of them were looking for Gray's position and Bree. Seeing them, Riley rushed over. Unfortunately, she and the captain of the Firehawks team and falling to the ground. In the middle of that, the emotional panel changed orange. A new emotion is that Riley's anxiety has just been formed. Suddenly did not stop there. Jealous of Blue's skin poking his head to introduce himself. She touched the control panel that made Riley look at the captain's hair with craving eyes. And then, ashamed, appeared shortly after. He carried a big body but saved words and crumbs in communication. The last feeling is to be discouraged. She seems to be fluent in technology. Just lying on the chair can control Riley's emotions by phone. Everything suddenly became mixed. However, Joy is still very optimistic because she understands that no matter who they are, she has a desire. It is a good thing to Riley. However, the old and new emotions quickly conflict with each other. Joy wants Riley to spend fun with friends, worried about wanting her to win a new team and make new friends, anxiously touching the decision to follow the captain. He argued that he was protecting Riley from the impossible, at the same time planned for the future. While the whole group was discussing, Hwai Neum appeared. Anxiety immediately ran the guest, because it took 10 years to go to work for 10 years. Riley followed the captain to the dressing room. Joy immediately took control of Riley to find the seats waiting for Gray and Bree. The three then happily took a photo. Inadvertently, this made the coach confiscate the phone of the team. Some old members therefore have aversion to Riley. They said badly behind her to tell her that she was a young buffalo. It is far from being an official member. Riley heard that hurt and burst into tears. Long-term worries occupied control, continuously saying Thao Mai's words to win the hearts of the captain. The second half quickly took place. Long wanted Riley to go to VL. However, her consciousness made her hesitant because she did not want to abandon two close friends. So he threw it into the memory store. Joy fiercely protested because he thought it was no longer Riley. However, new emotions want Riley to change. Under the command of Lo Lao, Shame has caught old emotions locked in glass jars to bring to the memory warehouse. Lo Lao created a new self-consciousness for Riley, with the purpose of her joining the Firehawks team, close with new friends at all costs. At the memory warehouse, the Joy Group met some of the forgotten characters. The dark secret to break the glass jar. However, it did not go out in the whole group, because that will be the best for Riley. Leading Evil using explosives break the door, but they have not been far away, the Dards appear. The red-haired Mr. Red showed a miraculously talented amateur in a miraculous way that was able to control all the guards. The Evil leads to the headquarters, but Joy stopped. She gave it that Riley's own sense of self. That means the group will have to go deep into the mind of Riley. Joy was quite confident, because she had been here before, but everything was now significantly changed. Soon, she took the group into a dead end. Sadly shed tears and still being caught by Joy to keep the whole group. At the headquarters, worriedly woke people up very early. He drove Riley to the frantic training. Every time she slipped it, she ran around the yard. Indeed, that strictness had worked. Riley's ability is visible. However, that also made her Gap and 2 friends away. On the other side of Joy, sent a child to return to its headquarters by recovery tube. Her mission will be to bring the whole group back when the job is done. Although he did not want to be killed by Joy into the pipe, under the control of new emotions, Riley gradually lost himself. New memories were constantly created. They fake legs and full of fire filter. Do-Ki controlled Riley to eat chocolate, although she did not like it before, all for the purpose of winning VL. After practicing, Riley Ting know about the coach's notebook, which will be comments on the new member, accompanied by the comment she wants for Riley entered the team or not. Anxiety wanted to break into the office to sneak a notebook. Sad about the headquarters. She immediately heard the call for fun. Joy immediately told Sadness to find a way to stop anxiety. Sadness secretly approached Depressed, successfully getting her phone to control Riley. Seeing that Riley cried, anxiously discovered something unusual. He urged the group to look for Sadness. The phone screen light has made Sadness reveal his position. Worriedly forced her to put it in and hung up and continued to control Riley. In the coach book with the lines of comments that are not ready, anxious and jealous to see that, they appear all the time. They only have 1 day left to change the coach. They all thought of a brainstorm. A series of dark ideas began to fall to the headquarters. Joy saw that, immediately launched the air battle. However, this brainstorm is too big. The stormy wind made the whole group lem hui. A big idea to fly. Joy wanted to destroy it, but the other members stopped because they needed it to keep their lives safely. The big idea of following the pipeline to the headquarters, Joy's group fell freely. Luckily, the adventure of the umbrella, so they just escaped. Based on the new idea, Lo Lao decided to change Julie. The first thing is to control her thin a few bangs. Joy's group reached the end of the memory. It was too late. A new self-consciousness of Jacob has formed. She suspected herself not good enough. Lo Lao was quite surprised about that, but still used the healing words. Shame has realized the mistake. He sneaked down sadly. Sanis went to the control panel to start the Joy group. However, Lo Lao discovered and destroyed pipes. The incident made Joy fall into despair. She doubted herself, asking herself what she was missing. The place for fun, and now Joy sat there tearing. Perhaps this is what happens when people grow up. Emotions are no longer simple and sad. Sometimes complicated, chaotic emotions. I cannot explain exactly what that is. The European speaker even controlled the team of his teammates. Alone, crazy to write the winning. To return to its headquarters, Joy made a decision to create. It was using explosives from the miraculous bag to blow the mountain. And then they drifted along the flow of memory. At the same time, the European Loa still controlled the separation with the determination to record. That injured Gray, and she was punished for 2 minutes. The European speaker wants to fix the mistake even more crazy. He used the control panel at a dizzying speed, making Gray Lai feel his chest. Unable to stop the other emotions, they destroyed their consciousness. Joy's group returned to the headquarters also helped, but it was too solid to turn. Joy immediately approached the European speaker, despite the terrible force. It seems that European speakers have lost their consciousness. Joy had to call many times to stop him. Just waiting for that, joy hugged him out. At the same time, with the rest of the emotions, it replaces the awareness of my former yourself, Riley. However, she still could not return to normal. Loa apologized to Joy for his stupid action. This reminded Joy what she had done in the past. She understood the core issue and eliminated the original consciousness once again, allowing a new, complex, and diverse consciousness formed from all Riley's positive and negative memories. Together with the emotions that cover the sense of this third and stable itself, so Riley gradually regained his calm. She faces Gray and Bree, sorry two friends at the same time, expressing their hearts, they made peace with a hand cluster. The dashboard was once again upgraded. Joy came to control Riley to step out with a sunny smile. And those are also the last episodes of the movie Emotional Pieces. What do you feel about the movie? Please leave your opinion under the comment section. Hello and see you again in the following video.